Check, check. Okay, good. Be right back. Just have to test that out. Okay, okay, all right. I'm back. I'm here. Don't think I'm trying to play with you or toy with you emotionally besides me playing these games right here. This game specifically. Motherfucking GTA, Vice City, and we still doing for the seventh time now. We're going for this goddamn 100 cab fares in under 2 hours or less, preferably. Well, I did say under, so in under 2 hours or as less than 2 hours as humanly possible. AKA, I'm here, the bald, angry, dumb gamer. Hello, and welcome back to another stream here on Sunday. I missed out Saturday. Forgive me for that shit. I was just like way too caught up in a bunch of different things to like make time for yesterday. I really wanted to, just for the sake of hopefully getting it done with yesterday and moving on today to something else. Ideally would have been San Andreas, but well, we can't live in the past. We can't do nothing about it now. We're here. Why the fuck can I get this camera right? Okay, no, I'm going the wrong way. Hope if I went the right way. It's a little too much. Okay, good. I should be sent today. All right, good. So without further ado, I am the bald, angry, dumb gamer, the bad gamer here on twitch.tv/who this is one and or youtube.com/who this is one for some more live streams, gaming from me live, or you can always watch them back on either Twitch or YouTube, whatever you want to do with it. And yeah, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to get back into this fucking game file. The one that's virgin, the one that's been not tampered with as far as the cab fare is concerned. So we're going for legit 100 again in under 2 hours, or as under 2 hours we can get to, as close to it, God be on our side this time. This is the 7th time I'm trying to get this done. And mostly for the sake of, I know I got GTA 3 done in 90 minutes and less. I think it was like 2 minutes shy of 90 minutes. And I came really close the first try I did here in Vice City to get 100 in under 2 hours. It's 2 hours by rough calculation, just because it's like a much bigger map than GTA 3 was. And also they do this thing here specifically where they insist on getting you from north to south a lot. So in the span of like what would take me maybe, I don't know, maybe let's say like 12 minutes to do 10 fares in GTA 3, in Vice City it's the other way around. It's like, sorry, not the other way around. I mean to say, you'll get maybe 10 fares done in like 15 minutes. And then it'll start incrementing at that rate the longer you play, unfortunately. So you're kind of stuck at a loss of You got to make up the time, make up the difference for it, and see where, if at all, you can kind of shave off some time from the clock. We are being timed. We are going to limit it to 2 hours. This time, however, because it's the seventh time, I'm not trying to be superstitious, nothing. Seven's a good number, though. I like it. My favorite number is eight, but I fuck with seven. Since this is the seventh try, if we can't get 2 hours, we'll just go over the 2 hours and see how long it takes us to finally get 100 fairs done. As see, right now, the game also likes to fuck me a lot because now I can't even get a cab. So I gotta wait till I get a cab. That way I get my ass inside one. And only then, okay, got one coming up. Yeah, good, perfect. And only then, as a right. What the fuck? It's like it fucking knows this game. God damn it. You gotta be shitting me. 99.9% of the fucking time, especially with the cabs, any vehicle in this goddamn game, it never does that. It never purposely runs people over just to avoid you and swerve all around you. It always stops. The AI knows to stop and let you inside. What the fuck was that about? This fucking game sometimes, I swear to God. I'll come back at a later time and actually finish the missions in Vice City and whatnot during a much later playthrough. But for right now, we're just trying to get this fucking thing done with the goddamn cabs and shit. Because it's been harassing enough. It's been emotionally distressing enough to have to do this shit with this game 7 times, let alone. So like I said, this is lucky number 7. Hopefully, to get shit done. 100 fairs under 2 hours. So now we're gonna hope and pray, please, please, God damn it. It's your day today. It's Sunday. Let me fucking get this done. Please let me accomplish this mission, which adds nothing to my whole life, but it's just, I don't know, icebreaker. Hey, took me 2 hours to fucking beat 100 cafes in GTA Vice City. What the fuck is Vice City? Well, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Well, obviously you're showing you're uncultured like that, so maybe step aside, bitch. You're gonna be taught to somebody who's actually worth it. Why is this thing so laggy? Weird. Alright, so we know the deal by now. If you joined the streams in the past too, we're gonna start the clock literally here. I'm gonna press up at the same time as I press the clock to start things off. So from that point onwards, we got 2 hours to finish this thing, and we're gonna try our best to do so, taking shortcuts, getting fast in and out, whatever we got to do, and repairing maybe not so often, but only when we absolutely need to, when we're like literally about to blow up and try our luck that way. Let's see. All right, send it up. So let's see now. Okay, 3, 2, 1. There we go. All right, we're officially taking things off. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hold on. I don't know why my thing is lagging. Why is this thing showing the pause menu? Wait, what's going on? Shit, hold on. God damn it. What's going on with this thing? Bro, it's not showing video. It's only showing fucking still image. I don't know why. What the fuck is happening? God, I gotta do this right fucking now. I fixed this already. Just bear with me. Just fucking shit. I did this already. What the fuck's it doing it now for? that should fix it, hopefully. No issues. Gotta test it out. Let's see. Unpause it. Shows the display. Okay. Alright. So now we gotta start that over again. How's it looking? On the screen. Okay, it's looking decent. Alright, it's always being paranoid. Alright, so let's go back here, fix this up. Alright, we're good. We're good. I was just being paranoid. Alright, we're gonna do that again because I don't know what the fuck, this video display wasn't working properly, but we're gonna start the clock again. We're in the cab already, so now 3, 2, 1, bang. Go inside. Alright, 301. Let's see what we get done by 501 basically. Alright. Jump back into this bitch. Let's get it. It was my first fair act. Alright. So, we're here. We're doing it. It's Sunday. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you all for doing so. Oh, fuck. I'm going the wrong way. And we're going to go somewhere nearby. Thank God. Finally, a close one. Although, the game does like to tease you, starting you off somewhere nearby and make you think, oh, we're going to cooperate. We're going to give you, you know, fares that are nearby, right here within the arm's reach and shit. And then at some point, you know, it's going to fuck you like right now. It's doing to me. Have all this shit get in the way so it can stop you from getting to your final destination. Which is right now this fucking club, so everybody can go dancing. There's this fat fuckings that go dancing. This fat, hairy, big titty fuckings that go dancing. It's probably Armenian. No judgment. If you're hairy like that, hey, I'm not jealous. If anything, I need some hair to grow on my head. That's just what it is. I'm bald. I don't want to say I don't want to say I embrace being bald. It ain't even that. It's just more like I'm bald and I'm living with it. And I'm dealing with it. And it's really not a big deal no more for me. So much so in like shame or ridicule. It's like, it's whatever. I'm not one to really doing the best for my appearance or maintenance like that. It's just more of like, honestly, for me to, oh shit, I just completely passed. I'm a fucking idiot. Ooh, I'm getting off to a bad start today, feels like. I'm just more of like, my whole thing with being bald is it's one more thing to shave, unfortunately. And it's really inconvenient because as is already, I barely got like the genetics to like shave regularly or like be something of a guy that would have to shave like that. I barely have to shave. Like even now, my face. I just shaved my face like on Wednesday, and I got nothing going on right now face wise, which is good. I mean, it's low maintenance if anything, so I can't really complain about that shit. But I've never been one to have anything grow, and if something does grow, like honestly just rat whiskers, it takes about 2 weeks for that to even come in. So explains a lot about my alleged Asian roots. Because as far as I've been told, and according to my mother, who I don't want to say she's lying, but you know, Spanish mothers, women, they exaggerate a lot just to fucking make themselves feel good or make themselves matter a little more, like off guard shit. Like, oh, by the way, da 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 da, a little fun fact and shit. It's like, oh, really? Instead of usual just them being dramatic, over emotional, and just acting like, you know, everything happens to them only. They're the only victims that exist. I digress. So, according to my mother, we're Japanese. But I think it was either her grandmother or great grandmother. So, like, either my great grandmother or great great grandmother. That was a Japanese lady that immigrated to Peru. That's where my mom's from. Culturally, that's what I am. And met with her husband, I think either grandfather or great grandfather, who was what do you call it? Oh fuck, I went the wrong way again. Shit, I'm not paying attention. Who was Brazilian and went to Peru. They both met there, and then basically that's how they made my mom's parents and then her exist, basically. So yeah, a whole lot of intermingling interracially very early on, and of all places, in South America. That's where they met. That's the story, at least. I mean, maybe with the last name it makes sense on the Brazilian end, but then also there's no real proof of like. I don't think people were keeping records like that back when of like who's from where, you met here, so now it's just an oddity, like how diverse you both are and shit. I don't know. It just seems. I'm not gonna say cap on my mom like that, but then again, you know how parents are. Some parents, especially mine, my mother especially, like really has and has forever had, even now, especially older she gets, this sort of entitlement. I like to think of it as this sort of like view of their right by default, just because they're older and they lived through it, which is like absolutely stupid. But also, even if you're able to prove them wrong, which I gave up on doing a long ass time ago because she would just insist that, I'm old, I've been through things, I know so much, I have to teach you everything and shit. Like, no, I learned a lot on my own, believe me. And I don't even mean from other people, just me living, me going through things myself as an adult, being responsible, staying out of trouble, never been one for drugs. I drink socially. I relax with that shit too. I drank a lot more when I was like in my 20s. Really just because I was trying to like, I guess, escape per se. Not even that deep like that. Just more like, long week, stressful work week, whatever. And I'm just, kicking a few back just to get them in my system, feel a little better about the situation at hand, aka this life thing, right? So where am I going? Okay. So yeah, she's been one of those. It's kind of like I don't believe it, but then also, growing up, people thought I was Asian for whatever reason. I guess because I was like chubby, and my eyes were squinty because of my face was like so fat. So I don't think that has anything to do with it, but maybe it's like me genetically leaning towards maybe possibly having after all, like she's saying, those Japanese slash Asian genetics kicking in. Because if it is true, if it is, again, big if, that would explain my poor beer genetics. That would also explain why, on my mom's side of the family, all the guys, her brother, her father, cousins, and all that too, all went bald. And that I'm probably the one to go bald, the youngest out of all of them in comparison. So, I mean, I just went bald like, well, I was balding since like 34, 33, whatever. But I actually decided to just whoop, take it all off officially and stay that way maybe 2 years now, almost three now. So it's still a lot of owning up to. It's still a lot of having to deal with being bald. Compared to being born and having like all this hair on your head, like a helmet of hair, is what I used to have. And even now, like I just shaved my head on Thursday, Friday. I can't remember exactly, but that was after like maybe 3 weeks of not shaving my head. I didn't feel like it. I was like so busy at work and just kind of like, it's an excuse, it's a cop out, but I was like stressed out, quote unquote, so much from work and the massive workload we've been dealt with as of this last month that it was just one more thing to do. And like I said before, shaving your head bald is one more thing to shave on top of that. And it's really not as easy as it seems. So whoever has to shave their legs and or body parts regularly and or their face basically, I feel for you. It's a tedious process. Also, I guess the hair I still have growing out of my head, out of my face, whatever, it's still very thick and dark, where shaving for me isn't like just one and done. I have to like go over that shit and really shave it down clean to make sure I properly did so. Because then I'm stuck with like whiskers and or uneven shit, and that's even more annoying because then it's like it shows that I'm probably not an adult, like mentally or responsibly, because I can't even shave properly. But I'm stuck doing that most of the time. Shaving is a bitch. I don't enjoy it ever. And with my luck, I don't know if I'll ever find like a good pair of clippers to actually just take that and just shave my head bald completely and or clean. At least like almost a zero, like a one, very close to the skull, right? Because the ones I bought from Amazon, I mean, I probably should have known better, but they're not that great. They're like it's big and loud and shit, whatever, but it kind of half-asses whatever I needed to do as far as like keeping my head clean and short and shaved, or at least give me the appearance of looking somewhat neat. But yeah, it's really loud for nothing and chugs way too much like power. I have to keep charging and shit. I mean, I got what I paid for it off Amazon too on top of it, so I really shouldn't be complaining too much about it. I should have known better, but then also that thing in itself is a whole business as far as like trying to find the right set of clippers that suits you best and your needs and whatnot. And trying to find the right ones. People don't deal with the same type of hair. People want to, especially the barbers, of course, they want to, you know, unencourage you from going bald because for them that's easy work. And if you keep your hair growing, of course, then that means they're going to be able to make some money and shit off of you being a regular customer. That's one thing I like at least about being bald. I don't got to keep going to the goddamn barber because I've told that plenty of times on my podcast and or here I think too. But I've never had a good look. I've never had like a good like consistent relationship with a barber where I want to see the barber often because I always been that type too where like I just let my hair grow out and I'd go see the barber maybe every 2 3 months. The most common, the most regularly I will go was like every 2 months. So no barber likes that because then they got to try to learn your head, your preference all over again. And maybe the face is familiar, but they don't remember exactly how you do it or what you want done. And also, it means you're not paying them as often as other customers do what they're there to do and basically cut hair, right? So you're often forgotten about, and I don't blame them, but also it's like, it's not that serious. It's just fucking hair. You chose this profession. There's so many barbers, I guess you could say, where it's like, who's really special anymore that cuts hair? I'm not saying cutting hair ain't like a talent or like a skill. It definitely is. And funny enough, I met plenty of people like around my way that have learned to cut hair on their own. They just kind of taught themselves to do it as a hobby, something to make money on the side growing up as a kid, a teenager, whatever. And they gone on to be barbers. And that's good for them. Proud of them for doing so, but it's like, I don't fucking care at the end of the day. I'm not gonna say it's overrated to know how to handle a pair of clippers and or scissors and cut hair. It's definitely still a talent and a skill you gotta develop over time. And you gotta be able to trust that person too that's cutting your hair, because there's plenty of those people that don't know what they're doing or kind of half-ass know what they're doing, and you'll still go with them anyway. I remember growing up when I was a teenager. I had growing up where in my neighborhood, it was really like um, this one shop that was there, but apparently because they were the only ones in that whole little neighborhood the whole time, they was able to open up like 3 different shops of their own brands. I think it was Allen's. So I think they got up to three, and I would always go to number 2 or 3. It wasn't the original one. And I'd always go there, and there was always this one very nice guy named Eli. Greek, nice guy. Apparently, he knew my father when he would go cut his hair, so he like kind of recognized me and shit whenever I did go. And he'd be nice to me. So he'd always offer to cut my hair and shit. I was like, oh, man, as long as someone's cutting my hair, I don't give a shit. It don't matter to me. You'd always do it, but then I learned later on, and mind you, I'm a kid, so kids will tease, kids will, bully. I'm from that era too, where bullying was like just the thing, the norm. You couldn't escape it even if you tried. And you just learn to take it and deal it back and or, fight, whatever. The kids knew him as the guy that would do just. I forget the nickname for him, but I always looked at it as he'd do one sideburn perfectly, like etched out, like you can put that shit on like a poster. It's so perfect and natural looking and whatever. But he'd also be the guy infamous for giving you the other side that would never match with that perfect left or right sideburn, and he'd just butcher your shit. Like you would look like you would look like your haircut was processed through like a Nintendo 64 polygon filter. Very low res looking, very just, unappeasing. And then it's mismatching on top of it too. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, one side's perfect and the other's like, it's still processing, it's digitizing, it's like being rendered through like 64-bit graphics at best, and or a very limited polygonal count. So it was always head scratching, no pun intended with that shit, what he would do to me. But I always went. I just always went because he'd do everything else perfect except that one side, and I would have to deal with literally that one side. And I asked him, because after a while, it was, I was curious. Like, I had to ask him, like almost a heart to heart, like Eli, right? Like, hey, I got a question for you, but I don't know if I should ask you or not. He's like, oh, you can ask me anything. I've been cutting your hair for years. I know you. You're a good kid and shit too. It's like, well, that's what makes it harder to have to ask you. Like, why can you not do both sides the same? He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, every time I get a cut here, and it's not just me, I've heard it from other people. People avoid you because you don't know how to do both sides properly. And I've always been stupid enough to never try out the other guys either. It was three in the shop. He'd be one of three, obviously. And obviously Eli was like the older one. I think the actual owner, the guy that was Alan, whatever, he was fairly not that much younger, but just younger than like this guy. But he would cut here too, and he had his regulars just like the other guy had his regulars. The other guy who had his regulars was like really young compared to both of them. But Eli, I asked him, and he really either played stupid or he was legit shocked at being told and or accused of not being able to fine tune both sides of one's head. And I was like, how do you not see that this side, and I forget if it was a left side or right side he butchered all the time, but it was always one side. And I was like, is it me? Is it how my hair is shaped? Because I always had like an odd like hairline when I was younger. And I asked him, like, is it me? Is it my hair how it's shaped that you can't get it right? Or are you legit like that blind or something, or you can't even phantom the thought that you're doing it wrong, one side only? Because this other side, and I reference the other side. The other side is more than fine. The other side is like the side I can actually show my face to people, even though I'm so fat and I'm so chubby. I really don't want to be outside and be seen by people. But this other side really wants to make me dig my head into the sand like I was an ostrich. Like I just want to hide from the world because of this one sideburn you can never get right. And I've dealt with it. I put up with it. The haircut was cheap every time. It was like $7 way back when, of course, when I was way younger with a lot more hair and before inflation. I'm talking about those times. And he couldn't answer me. He was legit like, I don't know what you're talking about. You look absolutely fine. And I kept insisting when I'm trying to fight because I'm also young. I'm not trying to fight an old man like that or argue with him. I'm like, it's not right. It's sloppy. I'm looking at it right now. Can you please fix this side or something, or take off something from like the perfect one to at least make it match up with the not so good one? Something. And he just kept legit insisting, I don't know what you're talking about, my boy. Come on. Like, is this a prank or something? And he just wouldn't get it. He didn't understand. He made me like question myself too. Like, am I delusional, or people hating on me, or just like pulling my leg to make me think like I should doubt my barber just because? Because people will play with you like that, play those games and shit. But he legit would mess up those sides. I knew it too. After a while, I knew it. I seen it. I know what my hairline looks like if it's being properly taken care of. And he wasn't doing that. He wasn't properly taking care of my hairline. God bless him. It was always like a fast cut. It was always a cheap cut, at least for those times, like $7 for the cut. And he would put me in front of people too if he saw me come in and sit down there. If I had to wait maybe like one, two people at most, it was so rare. He would just take care of me right away, like I was like practically family. So that's what made me feel bad about even like not confronting him, but just like asking him straight up, like, do you not realize what you're doing with my hair and with so many others? But I don't know if anyone else has brought this up to you, but this is what you're doing. And I've seen other kids' fucking hair, and you are absolutely 100% doing this. And it's so wrong to us because we gotta grow up and deal with this shit at school. And this is the time in your life where, unfortunately, other people's opinions matter a lot to the point where you'll make whole decisions about how to carry yourself or who you want to identify as based off how people identify you or look at you as. It's crazy, but it is like that though. I mean, there's no lying in that shit, right? Oh fuck. Oops, sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that. I'm just like sharing the woes of my past haircuts when I had hair. Obviously, when I had fucking hair. You stupid asshole! Get out of my fucking way. But God bless him. He was such a nice guy every time. Like I said, always nice, always chatting me up, asking me how I was doing, how school. Again, he would take care of me. He would show me like preference if whenever I showed up. So it was great to deal with, and it was like some really fine treatment on behalf of a stranger who like you're presumably trusting your hair with, your appearance with, but I did it with the wrong guy. Pause. And man, I wish I knew what he was up to right now. I mean, obviously, I can't go back to him. He can't do nothing for me unless like he knows how to handle the blade and really like do a proper baldy. But then again, with the experience I went through with him, I don't know if I could trust him to like keep my head bald. He'd probably somehow accidentally maybe grow back hair or something. Like one little patch of hair that would just be like on the middle of my head and would still look weird. Like a lazy mohawk or something. It's like, oh, I thought you wanted hair. That's why you come to barbershop. Like, no, I'm bald. Just keep me bald. What are you doing adding hair to my head somehow? Did you super glue some shit? Can I give you consent at least if you're gonna do that? I mean, I appreciate it, but it's just not realistically happening no more. Me growing hair where I don't have it, mainly the middle of my head. But it's whatever. God bless him. He was a nice guy. Hopefully he's still alive, and if he is, I just hope he's not cutting hair no more. I think he's done the world enough of a disservice by cutting hair as sloppy as he done, with what seemingly ended up being like the biggest crime in them all. Just like a very perfect haircut almost by just how shit looks. But just that one sideburn always had to suffer. And it was thanks to Eli. Greek guy, older guy, nice guy too. Just God bless him, bless his heart. Always nice to me, never an issue, but damn, I really let him. I'm pretty sure people like me that didn't have the heart to tell him, Eli, what are you doing? Why are you fucking up like this? Didn't have the heart to tell him, I gotta go with someplace else or someone else, at least in here. But I'm pretty sure enough people put his kids through college because of not having the heart to tell him such a nice guy, you know what? Why is like 85% of my haircut like excellent, but then the 15% is where I'm suffering right now, like heavily. Like, come on, throw me a freaking bone here. Shouts to Dr. Evil. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy times. When you're younger, you got to deal with all the superficial shit, the haircuts on a regular basis. I'm from here in Queens, where like appearance like that matters a lot. Unfortunately, well, when I was growing up, I'm sure it does now in its own little weird way. But then also, I think this generation is much more worried about how they're being identified as, gender wise, just by meeting someone new versus like the haircut like that. Because I think the thing now is to grow out your hair, it seems like, and also color your hair a certain way too, which I would have done that had I had hair. I didn't, but if I had hair in this generation, oh man, I'd be like going through so many colors, through the whole fucking rainbow at some point, till I settle on something I actually like. I don't know. I don't know. I say that now, but also I don't know. I'm not saying I'm capping. I'm saying I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, I gotta go to the marina. And yeah, again, just having hair, well, not having hair, results in this all being shaved along my head, which is again one more thing to have to shave. And at the added inconvenience of having to shave the back of the head, which is always tricky because I might miss a spot for how long I've been shaving my head now. I've only missed a spot like maybe legit once or twice. And thank God it's always been like something minimal, never something like I missed a whole right side behind my head and I look like an absolute lunatic. No, it's always been just like, one little strand, one little couple of hairs here. They kind of stand out. Oh, right, Marina, not the hospital. I thought it was the hospital for some reason. It's La Marina. Ah, shit. Almost missed my turn. Shit. Oops. Sorry, I also had like a very lackluster night of sleep leading up to this shit, so forgive me for that. Of all things now, I don't mind doing it, obviously. I love her. It's no issue to me. But my girlfriend's got me helping her out because she's trying to get into graduate school by this fall since she's wrapping up with her bachelor's here, school she's going to. She's trying to get her application. Oh, shit. Oh, she's got to submit done in about a week's time. To her credit, she's done most of it, so no issue there. But now I have to step in and help her with the, what's it called, like the entrance or acceptance essay. Pretty much like a couple of pages of telling them why you're cool or like a good pick candidate for the goddamn school. And mind you, I think this is just to get in. It's not like even an essay like put together to like try to win a scholarship or a free ride to the school. It's more like this is my essay that you hopefully should find good enough to allow me to let you bill me to be in your college, in your facility, whatever. Or in this case again, in your graduate school. Which I again, good for her. I love her to pieces. I love her to death, basically. But I don't look forward to schoolwork. Now, especially that I'm almost 40, 2 years shy of, almost. Even back when homework was the norm for me. You'd have to go home every night with fucking homework. Maybe not every subject, but at least like a majority of them. So, that always sucks. So, because of that shit, I had to stay up late last night to just kind of glance over, okay, what's being expected of me with this, entrance exam, whatever. Help her out a little bit. I probably shouldn't be admitting to this because, God forbid, they listen to my stream, they'll find out, oh shit, he wrote it. No wonder it was so wonderful. And I mean, I've been told that already too. Like, for the longest time in English or writing class, whatever, I had a very good, strong pen. I was able to put shit together, like, no problem. So, the only problem would be, like, why ain't I in the school yet, whatever. That potential. But thank goodness, she's the one going to school. I ain't. So I don't gotta deal with that shit whatsoever. The financial loans, the amount of times it takes to get a fare and shit sometimes. God damn. Sorry. Shit, where am I going again? Oh, fuck. Oh, God. I need like a little wake me up. in that case, I might just take 2 seconds real quick and get me a goddamn little bit of that pre-workout in my system just to kind of like whoop, jolt me up right now because I don't want to be falling asleep here doing this shit. It's not that this is boring me at all. I want to do this. I want to get this done and completed. But like, goddamn, I'm like, I can't be falling asleep behind the wheel. Goddamn it. Even if it is GTA and that kind of shit will be the norm for that universe, but still, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Whoop. All right, let me just drop off this ass clown, and then we'll move on. Well, I'll take my ass and I'll get some goddamn pre-workout in and some of this little energy drink, and hopefully give me that little whoop, like wake me up I need right now. I think I was talking about my girl's entrance exam into graduate school, so I don't know where I left off, if I dozed off mid-sentence or something, but yeah, I'm basically working on that right now, and that's due this week, of course, because she likes to tell me last minute to do things. Or what's that mean? Because it's so fucking true too. Like whenever you lay in bed and your girl starts like drawing figures on your chest or your stomach, just be prepared to have her ask you something absolutely stupid or like just make a dumbass request that you need to get done. But they're trying to be cute about it and like set you up for it. Basically, yeah, that shit. That's how that came up with me, and I'm doing it mostly because she's fully capable. She's a good ass student. I think she's like at a. She might just be now at like a. I want to say like a. If not a 4.0, probably like a 3.95 GPA. So good for her. She ideally is killing it pretty much, just short of perfect as far as her academics are concerned. And mind you, not with easy shit like science shit. So God bless her. She's able to pull that off. And the only thing is, English ain't her first language, so she's actually Russian. So she does speak English because obviously she would need to communicate with me and like be with me in a relationship as long as we've been, obviously. But English ain't her first language, so when it comes to like writing stuff, she's got one of those where she thinks in her native tongue versus what she should be writing and or actually thinking in to have it make sense. So that's where I step in. And at least she likes my work. At least she likes what I do for her. At least she appreciates, that I'm looking over at it and I guess I know what I'm talking about because, again, fun fact about me, like English or language arts, whatever you want to call it, was one of the few subjects that in social studies, history, global studies, whatever, one of the very few subjects I ever did bad in, let alone never failed. Because I will look forward to it. I love history. Thank God, thank you. I love history and also, where am I going? Oh, it's over there. I love history and I love writing. I've always loved writing. I still love writing, even though now, with the phones, of course, you get the added convenience of doing the fucking notepad thing. So I'm doing that most of the time. But yeah, that's where I step in and help her out with that shit. Just get that essay done, finalized, look good, sound good, read good, and then get her ass into graduate school so she can go ahead and finish what she's, trying to go for, academically speaking. And career-wise, of course, because the end goal is finish up school so she can get a fucking job in what she's trying to graduate for. What did I say I was doing? Oh, yeah. I said I was going to get a little bit of pre-workout in me to wake me up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that as soon as I finish this fair, so let's go finish it fast. Yeah, I gotta get that pre-workout in now. Oh god, I'm dozing off. Fuck. And this ain't gonna help me do this shit either if I'm dozing off. I can't be precise. I can't be like laser focused as I should be to get these goddamn fairs done. Because look at me now. Look, 22 in a row. Okay, not so bad. But in 33 minutes, yeah, not so impressive. So, fuck. Alright, so let's go here this way. Okay, the marina. Let's not wreck. Let's not crash no more. Let's just get this guy straight to where he's going. Then we gotta hit the body shop. There's gotta be a faster way in there than like all the way around this side and then loop on back. But whatever. We're here already. Trying to get there fast enough, so let's go. Alright, of course no speed bonus because you're a dick. You get the fuck out of my cab anyway. Where is this fucking fair? Alright, bitch. Get the fuck in. Alright, thank you, officer, for ignoring that shit. Let's go ahead and get this fucking shit fixed. Before we go anyway. Where we going? I didn't pay attention. Don't matter. We're in here right now, miss. Don't mind me. Just trying to give you a better ride by giving you a better looking vehicle. Deep inside in the back. I can't tell where I'm going. Let's cut through here. I think it's at the beach, right? It's probably the beach spot up north. Yeah, it's the beach spot. Like way up there. Oh god. It means more fucking time wasted in the sand, just like turning our wheels. No! Oh, idiot. See, I knew I should have fucking taken my pre-workout now, just to wake up. Shit. I own up to that. I did that. I fell asleep like a fucking moron, so, oh god. Oh god, oh god, oh god, I need a cab, need a cab, need a cab. I need a good one though. Okay, good. We got plenty of good ones right here. So, shit, let me jot it down. I think that was 23, right? Alright, so I think that was 23. Check the stats actually to be sure. $23, all right. So we got that Jordan number, OG Jordan number, 23. Let's just jot that down. All right, we got 23 of me right now. Okay, we're taking a brief pause. I'm gonna come right back and get this fucking pre-workout in my system along with a drink so that I can actually function properly. All right, let's just run the clock. I'll be right back. Give me a sec. Yeah, some strong pre-workout. Oh my god. I took a whole big swig of it right now. Trust me, it works. It helps me get them out through my workouts, get energized through it. So, whew, that should do the trick. Ah, I feel jolty. You know it works when you start feeling like tingling around your neck in the tip of your ears. Super effective. Super effective. All right, get in, you stupid bitch. Come on. Where we going? You're right at the police station right here. Why you gotta go to the other one? You wanna go snitch elsewhere so they don't recognize your stupid old fucking bag face? Talk about Leatherface. This bitch right here in the back riding here is Leatherface. Saggy, wrinkly, crinkly, fucking Canal Street bootleg leather ass bitch face. Snitching. What a fucking snitch. I should charge you extra for being a snitch. I don't mind getting you where you gotta get to, but you gotta pay extra if you're gonna fucking snitch. You're gonna be a rat, you're gonna be a stool pigeon. You're gonna be fucking Takashi 69. Alright. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Alright, we're at 40 minutes. We got 24 done. I got the police on my on my ass. We're gonna hightail this motherfucking spot. Get the fuck out my way. There's only room for one cab in this motherfucker right now. I'm a wanted man. I got fares to complete. You got a nice ass and a nice rack. And the police want me too. They want to do me in just because I get to places too fucking fast. Alright, I'm no longer wanted by the police. That's a good thing, because as long as you want me in the back, baby, we can go real fast, get you there, you give me a nice fucking tip, and I'll give you a nice fat one in return. Or we can take things nice and slow. Get you there in your due time. No rush. And we'll make a quick pit stop. I'll make some room for myself in the back, crack my pants open, and then I get do it. Hey. Why not? Why not? We're in a beach city. It's Vice City. Let's have some fucking fun. We ain't doing no cocaine, though. I God forbid, I'm able to sustain myself reliably, responsibly in Vice City of all places. I cannot afford a drug habit, of all things. I think that's always been one of my main things. Like, I've never been one for drugs. Never had no curiosity of, like, the hard shit. Hey, just because, like, every kid of a certain age, you try weed. You always have that one friend that can offer it to you. No problem, whatever. But weed is the most I've done. And I'm talking about years ago, too. Like, I want to say the last time I smoked anything, weed specifically, might have been like. Actually, I'm lying. I just remember now. Actually, I took a hit off of something like 3, maybe 4 years ago. It was definitely before the pandemic, but not too much before it. So, yeah, somewhere around that time. That's the last time I took a hit off of somebody, puffing on weed. And it just reminded me of like what it had done for me before, specifically weed. Better yet said nothing, because I don't feel a thing when I do weed. Anytime I've taken a puff or drag, whatever the cool kids call it, I've never gotten anything out of it. Just like ineffective. It's like in and out of my system. I take a huff and a puff and it does nothing for me, so I just never gone back to it. But I also might have gotten like some weak strands or like some dirt weed, whatever you call it, because I know that's a very common thing as far as like if you don't get good stuff, then how could you ever really criticize it or say it was good or bad if you can't really tell and shit? I don't know how to tell. I wouldn't know how to tell, to be honest. The one thing I can tell you though is I don't like the smell of weed. It bothers me, especially if it's like that overly sour like Kush or Diesel. Like I know those smells because I've dealt with enough people that like just smoke every day, either in school or at work, whatever. Where old jobs, the big thing would be, oh, who's got the weed? Pass the bud. Let's get together and smoke. You down to smoke and shit? You want to smoke and shit? Like, I ain't one to pass judgment like that because it ain't my business or my concern. But also, what's so appealing about getting together a group of guys, girls, hopefully girls involved. It's not just a fucking sausage fest the whole time, and just smoking. I get it. It's relaxing. It's a cool down vibe. It's whatever you want to call it in that case. I get that aspect. But what's the appeal or the allure of like having to spend money in such a recreational activity like that? But especially if you're not even making money like that. Like I'm talking about old jobs where I made like close to nothing, or it was off the books. And okay, you got the convenience of cash. You're not paying taxes. You're not being taxed as heavily as I am now. I might as well be working off the books. I get taxed so fucking heavily, mind you. Because I'm so happy to do my taxes every year or so, because they don't take enough as is throughout the year. Every 2 weeks when I get that direct deposit, god damn it. But that's another time, another day for that story and those woes. But yeah, they was always like fascinated. I did work with a bunch of younger kids too, like not a lot younger, like decades younger, but like maybe 5 years, whatever, at most. And I never understood like the fascination with just getting together, locking yourself in like a hot box, literally, always someone's basement, someone's attic, and just smoking like the day away. Like I could never do it. I purposely hung out with them one time, a old couple of coworkers, just to see what's the fascination with this. What are you guys getting accomplished by just like sitting around, huffing and puffing, you know, passing it on the right hand side to each other for like a whole day. Because I remember one of them I was actually kind of cool with. Was just telling me, yeah, last Saturday we just bought a bunch of shit. We just smoked and smoked and smoked. And like, did you smoke the whole day? It was like, yeah, pretty much. Like, did you do anything while smoking? Like, did you at least like play some games or I don't know, watch some shit or listen to music? Nah, we just smoked. And that's the part I don't get because, well, also okay, listen, if you are looking more towards the hallucinogenic effects of weed and or I guess CBD or whatever else is being smoked nowadays, I get it. It's a release for you. It's what you're looking to do for fun, to like kill some time and shit. Everybody's stressed. I get it. Different levels, different kinds, case scenarios of stress. I'm not opposed to that. But at least they were doing it like once a week, I think it seemed like. But there's also the other people that do it every single day, like they can't function amongst other people at work, wherever, if they don't take a hit. I remember one guy from my job now. I want to say he's still in the industry, but I think he just went to another company because of the pay, and or he really started to hate our company because, rightfully so. When I started out as a customer service representative in the health insurance company I work for, still now, almost going 10 years, starting out as a pretty much a phone rep has its days. I'd like to say just days, but it really has its moments like throughout the day where you're like, I should probably quit this job. I can't fucking take this shit, whatever. Some idiot, some asshole, some cunt, just someone miserable with their whole life feels entitled enough to have to call in to shit all over you and act like you just gotta take that shit. So I get that aspect, and shouts to anybody out there doing customer service right now, and you know the woes that goes with that shit, and the backwards ideology of the customer's always right, which we know ain't the case 9 times out of 10. But then to actually complete the call successfully, then you got to pretend like, absolutely, sir, ma'am, you're right. We're so sorry. This, that, the other, da 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 da. Playing up to somebody who you'll never fucking interact with in your life outside that phone call, right? That's the strenuous part of it too. So, believe me, you're going through it right now. You did before. I can relate, and I hated it after a certain point, and that's why I did the best I could to either like put it past me and or just ignore the best I could, or simply trying to look for another position within the company, which I didn't get to do until like maybe I want to say I think it was like 4 years into the company. I was able to finally move over to something else. But with that something else came more responsibilities, more interaction with the customer, which I like in person shit. Because the thing is, too, half the shit people pull on the phone or the attitude or tone they take with you over the phone is neutralized completely, and or at least most of it is gone when it comes to face interactions. Now, I know obviously it depends on the case scenario situations too. Like if you're working at Starbucks, you're working with a whole different breed of monster over an overgrown child passing off as an adult who can't function without their cup of coffee, made to their fucking likings, because the baby needs their diaper changed. And the baby needs you to wipe a certain way, enough powder to make them feel right and special about themselves. If not, then, they're up your ass. I get that. But in this case scenario, I'm talking about like when I finally transferred over to a new department to deal with customers face to face in person mostly. It was at a welcome center, excuse me, where we dealt with these people. Same shit you get, on the phone, same issues, all that too, but now with the actual human face to face interactions. And people knew most people, of course, not everybody, most people knew to stay in their fucking place and actually compose themselves when dealing with you in person versus over the phone, how they treat any other representative. I think also because we were being presented as like better than. Oh, fuck, I went to the wrong beach. I thought it was this one. We would get presented as better than a plain old representative on the phone. Really, we just knew a little more than them. Well, actually, let me not say that because we did have to get trained in other shit too, specifically in having to renew coverage and or re-enroll people into health insurance, basically, and or help them pick a plan according to their income level, family size, etc., etc. So, basically, helping people get enrolled and or reapply and or renew their shit, which was actually fun. That part I look forward to because every customer you had to deal with for the most part, that'd be at least a good 30 minimum. If you were good, if you wanted to be fast, but if you wanted to kill time and still get paid, obviously, it was like at least a minimum 30 minutes. That's as long as shit would take. Honestly, it'd be a lot faster sometimes, but if you had to enroll somebody or like make a whole new application or like renew the shit, whatever, that would always be by default a minimum 30-35 minutes. It was never faster than that. And I look forward to that shit because again, it just meant like I'm able to kill the clock basically. And pass the time with some shit that's fairly easy. Maybe once in a while, depending on the person, individual, family, whatever, how much they made, what industry they're in, how they make their money basically, would all be like the differentiating factors in what kind of coverage they would end up getting and or qualify for, better yet said. So that was the interesting part because you get to meet people from all walks of lives that made money some way, somehow, differently from like your average plain Jane or Joe, whatever. Uh, yeah, point was, I like that face to face interaction aspect of it. It was a lot more fun, interesting. You actually get to know people, get to talk to people, and most importantly, let's say nine out of 10 interactions, they're talking to you like you're human, not like you're just there to fucking be a punching bag, a verbal punching bag for them over the phone, or I'm mad at what happened to me. I got the wrong name on my cup of coffee from Starbucks this morning. My wife is on a period and her period blood really smells when she's pissing. So I'm going to take out everything on you because you're on the phone and you're supposed to help me. And if you don't, you're a piece of shit and I want your manager by default, right? You skip that whole part. There would be still the people who come in person, rightfully so. They're disgruntled about something wasn't getting resolved for them over the phone, so they figured in person would be the resolution. Sometimes it would, most times it wouldn't, but at least like you'd get them to calm down a little bit or be like, you're talking to a person here, not someone maybe at most times reading the script or having to follow protocol with like, I have to hit this, because it wasn't scripts, but it was like things you had to say during a call because they're all recorded that you would get graded on, like it was school pretty much. And I hated that part because as time progressed, it got a lot more annoying and a lot harder to have to ask people certain things, even if it's written in your cues and or your, I guess you could call them scripts, during each call. Because each call, ideally, you have to say things in a certain way. You have to phrase things in a certain way. You have to start off with a specific kind of introduction. You have to say the company name, say your name, how can I help you? You have to say it that way because otherwise it comes off like being a dick or an asshole. Like if, what are we doing for you today? What's the problem? Kind of thing. You can never say nothing like that, and I never did. But you'd be surprised the amount of people that would start off that way, and of course they'd have to get, as we call it, coached. Which, believe me, afterwards now working on the other end of like, I have to review calls sometimes and determine whether they get coached or not. Of course, they need to be coached. A lot of these representatives, but then with a coaching, nothing happens. With a coaching, you forward that shit over to like their supervisor. Hey, this person needs to be coached on like etiquette, demeanor, tone, knowledge. The part that bothers me most is if we got to send the coaching request out for somebody that fucked up on a call because they gave the person the wrong info. I'd much rather have to do like the ones where you got to send them, hey, this girl was being a real cunt to the customer for no reason. They were probably having a bad day, but in that case, they should have called out if it was really that bad. That kind of shit. I would rather much get those because it's easy, open and shut. Hey, tell them how to behave. Tell them this isn't fucking high school. We're not here to like cater to their needs because they're here to cater to the customer. We're not here to cater to them just because they're upset about whatever. I'd rather much get those calls because they was so easy to deal with. Because then it's just one quick email. You don't have to waste time being like detailed or thorough and or researching benefits as far as okay, they said this was wrong, and this is how it really is coverage wise. So now you have to correct them and speak to them as far as get your shit right or learn your fucking job basically. Because you're fucking up and making us look bad. Or you promised this member something would happen, something would change, and now because it's recorded on the line, you saying it and it's clear as day, you being stupid and or just wrong, now we're forced to tell this member, okay, because our representative was wrong, we're going to give you like a one-time exception. We're going to cover this cost. We're going to reimburse you even though you're not supposed to, but because the rep said you would get reimbursed, we're going to have to reimburse you basically. So it's shit like that. And I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. So point is, I had a friend who was a pothead. I, I don't know if that's a cool term to use, but he smoked a lot of weed, if that's a little more cool to say. But point is, he smoked a lot of weed every fucking day at this point. Dominican, really nice guy, funny. He would laugh and like he had one of those laughs. You wanted to make him laugh as much as you could because it was like a genuine whole body, like shuffling side to side, up and down. Like he was like a tickle me Elmo or something. He would really like just let his whole body laugh, and he had like a good hearty laugh too. He was like a nice guy too, so I wouldn't mind, making stupid jokes or like bitching about a customer on the line and shit, and he just like legit laugh. But I think also he was so high all the time. I think just about anything was funny to him. So it's not like I was reinventing comedy with him, but still, he had a really good laugh. I remember him. So shout outs to fucking Henry. Lost touch with him because he also changed phone numbers so many times. I think because he got paranoid about like his dealers and shit, like where he was getting his weed from. Because I'm telling you, he'd have weed on him every day. He'd offer me every day, oh, you want to take a hit, man? And at some point, I'd be like, Henry, you do know that you've offered me like every single day, and I appreciate it, but I don't want it today. I didn't want it yesterday. It's not gonna change, pal. I'm sorry. I did smoke with him once just to be like, you know what? You're gonna keep fucking asking me. If this stops you from asking me, not because it bothers me, because I hate you, because like just take the hint. I don't smoke, but I'll get it out of my system now, and it's been a while anyway. Maybe you got like a whole different weed that'll make me like a weed head, and it really didn't. It was a cool time because at least we smoked while we played some Xbox, and that was it really. But God bless him, good kid. Wait, was it him? Oh no, I'm thinking of someone else I did that with. No, he offered me a bunch of things. Oh, you smoke? Oh, you smoke? Yeah, okay. I got to mix up with someone else I did that with. Like, They just kept asking me so much if like I smoked weed or not. Oh, you look like you'd like it or whatever. It's like, okay, you calling me a fucking degenerate or like a junkie or what? Because I don't smoke and I never did and I never will. And I don't find the appeal in fucking smoking, period. But whatever. If you're offering, fine. As long as I don't got to pay for any of it, I'll take a puff or a drag. A courtesy one at least, a freebie. Call me freeloader, call me whatever, but seem like a cool enough guy. I got an afternoon coming up. I'll be probably free. Yeah, let's go smoke. We're young. Why not? We did. He had Xbox. He had the what we doing? 360. Oh yeah, yeah. This was way before work, actually. Way before Henry and shit. So this guy had the Xbox 360. Oh no, I bought my Xbox One off of this guy Henry. I'm talking about from work because he was selling it. I guess because he just wanted like I forget why. He just sold it to me cheap though. He sold it for me for like 250, I think, when it just released too. Like so, I got it for pretty cheap. And he kept it in mint condition, so no issues with that either. So, God bless him with that shit. I didn't buy a bum system off him or like a dead one or like a what do you call those? Like a blocked one or like a locked one, whatever. So he was good. He was good to me in that sense. Uh, so yeah, no, I never smoked with him. He offered me plenty of times, but I never smoked with him. But it was the other guy I smoked with. But that was way before I even worked with Henry, so I don't know why I got the two. I think because they're both Dominican. They were both Dominican and bald, so I probably got them mixed up in that sense. So forgive me for stereotyping. I didn't mean to, box in all the bald Dominican fellas like they're all just weed smokers with nothing better to do with themselves but smoke. Again, I don't care about that part. Do what you must to get the stress off, to deal with the day, get you through the motions. Do whatever you gotta do. I get it. There's different ways of coping as long as you're not like damaging your body and or preferably if you're not like smoking cigarettes. That I don't get. I don't understand smoking. I don't understand smoking, period. I guess the Indians did it. Sorry, the Native Americans did it. But I guess they had their reasons why, their rituals, and it made sense. And I would assume everything they smoked was actual natural, but from the earth and shit. But if you're smoking a prepackaged stick of chemicals and cancer, and what's a pack of cigarettes now here in New York? I think at least like oh shit, get in. Oh my god, fuck. Too slow, man. Come on, we got the cops on my ass. I can't even play it off like they were going after you because you're, black guy, but they were coming after me because they caught me doing a crime. No racism, of course, but yeah, that's the only thing I never got. Like smoking a pre-rolled, pre-packaged, sealed up $20 carton of just cancer sticks. And we know the risks. And it's not like I'm trying to be Mr. Holier than thou. I'm trying to tell you, oh, I know so much better. I'm Mr. Health Expert. You know what you're doing to yourself. I'm not going to guilt trip you into fucking what you do to yourself when you smoke. Shit. Funny about me, right? I used to work at a bakery in Jackson Heights in Queens when I was younger, like right out of college. I had to because, I needed the money. It was part time work. It was, off the books and shit. But my boss was Greek. She's still alive. Hopefully she's still alive. Good lady. She was a little rough, as far as working for her was, but she was so good looking I didn't mind it. Call me a simp. But she was actually a good looking woman, so I didn't mind that she was like a little like bossy, cunty, whatever. I was like, yeah, you just need some steady dick. And then when I found out she had a quote unquote boyfriend, this boyfriend was much older than her, a nice guy, but way older than her, so I'd be surprised if he was able to get his dick up. Because she wasn't that young either. She was like, she had to be like in her 40s when I worked for her, and I'm talking about like 2005, 2006, so add 20 years of that shit, she's like almost 70 now. Good looking fucking woman, though. Really good looking, great fucking body on her, good looking woman. But saddest part was she smoked so much every day and drank nothing but black coffee that her teeth would, I wish her teeth would have been like a wood brown like George Washington. No, her shits were fucking like gangrene yellow, like decaying, ready to fall out one by one at any given point in time. Yellow, these teeth. They were so bad looking. Gums were black and shit. But what helped her out the most was that she was such a good looking woman until she smiled. And it's so crazy. Oh, everybody's got a nice smile and shit. Nope. There's such a thing as a fucking a smoker's smile, and she had one to the T. If there was a dictionary fucking picture for the term or encyclopedia image for a smoker's smile, she's right there up with them and better than anybody's. And the sad part is, as Greek as she was, and as a beautiful, legit, good-looking woman as she was, she smiled, and it was an immediate turnoff. It was a dead dick right there. Whoever got to see that in person in the flesh. So I'm sure this old guy, as old as he was, and a nice guy too. I think his name was Tan. As a nice guy as he was like the unofficial co-manager of the shop that she owned that we worked in. Uh, I'm sure he had enough trouble getting his dick up as is for as old as he was. I'm talking about he was way older than her at that time. So if she's almost 70 right now, he's got to be almost 90 right now if he's still alive. But he must have had a lot of money, so good for him, I guess. He pretty much bought her off, bought her youth. He was definitely having the hardest time, no pun intended, getting it up at all once she smiled. Or if she was giving him a fucking blowjob. I don't know if like the gums go soft when you smoke too much, or if the teeth feel a certain way when you're like a smoker like that, but it was definitely a turn off for him. There's no way he was enjoying like kissing her. Because then her mouth, her saliva, everything must have tasted like just straight up like ashtray. I'm telling you, she smoked maybe 2 packs or a pack and a half a day. And that wasn't cheap back then either. Maybe like what, 13, $14 or whatever. I remember her giving me a 20 every time she gets some change back that I take back to her. Now I think, what, is it 20 now? A pack of cigs? And I even remember what she used to smoke. She used to smoke fucking Marlboro 100, I think gold. Not light. I think Marlboro Gold 100s. It's the box of Marlboros that got like a little gold on it and shit. So that was her choice of smoke. And I'd have to get it for every day because apparently, I guess she associated me with being Spanish. I would know how to like order cigarettes. I guess I did. So she trusted me with that little bit of duty besides my actual job, you know. So, you know. Again, it's a shame though, because such a good looking woman. And she knew how to run her business. She did well for herself. She had like, I think she co-owned or owned a hair salon that her daughter like managed, run, whatever. But I think she would just pop in there, of course, with like a free haircut or something or whatever else she'd had to. But she probably got her up and running, her daughter, in that hair salon. Pretty far from each other though. Like the bakery was in one neighborhood and the hair salon was in another. But point is, she was a businesswoman pretty much. You know, like that old immigrant mentality. Like they come in, they try to make as much money as they can, and God bless them. That's the right mentality to have, especially if you're not from here, born here, whatever. But she owned her own couple of things, and I wouldn't be surprised she had a couple of other investments or businesses that we just never knew about. But the ones we knew about was the bakery, and of course, which I worked in, obviously, and then the one her daughter managed, the hair salon, which I'm pretty sure she was like a co-owner or like she just gave her daughter the money to start that shit up. Which, hey, God bless. But yeah, such a good-looking woman though, that lady. Vivi, that was her name, Vivi. Greek. Everybody was Greek in that inner circle. Of course, her daughter has to be Greek because she was Greek too. But also the guy she was dating, the older boyfriend, the older, richer boyfriend, was an old Greek guy too. Funny enough, he only drank black coffee, black, hot, piping hot coffee. He always wanted a fresh spot of black coffee, but didn't smoke and no drinking either. So he was like an anomaly amongst the Greeks, I guess. But she was a stereotypical one in the sense of just black coffee all day. If she felt in the mood for it, like black coffee, one sugar. But then otherwise, she was just smoking, chain smoking, just smoking nonstop. And I'm talking about again. It'd be funny too because then she'd realize she smoked too much at a point. Some days, and she like, oh God, I smoked too much today. I can't take it no more. I'm smoked out for the day. Meanwhile, she only smoked like 2 packs in that whole day, from like morning to afternoon and shit. I don't even know how that's possible. Legit, she would never have the same pack of cigarettes on her. It'll always be a new one that got like, busted open, and she'd have that on hand. But she would have them on hand all the time. It's only when she ran out and she knew I was like working that shift, she'd send me to the fucking to the nearby like bodega because where we worked at it was like a little strip mall. I missed that mall actually. It was like I remember I moved there actually to that area after the fact. Um, that little strip mall was really convenient because it was us, it was the bakery, and it was right next door, literally right next door to us. If we didn't have something in stock, which was like some of the times or like later at night, they had Carvel ice cream right next door. So obviously, if I had to pick between Carvel and or a bakery, I think I'm going with the ice cream, and I can't blame people that did that too. If they had that logic, like maybe they'd see us there, they'd look, maybe see through the window. Oh, hey, fresh bread, a couple of little baked goodies and shit too. But then, oh yeah, there's ice cream next door. I'm going with ice cream. It's a safe bet. And honestly, Carvel's like not a bad brand, I guess. I'm more of a Baskin Robin boy instead of a Carvel hoe. But yeah, actually, it's been a while since I had Carvel, but I don't remember it finally. And even though they was next door, I rarely went in. It wasn't even like beef or nothing either. And I did have incentive too, because I'm talking about again like 2005. I'm like 20. I'm fresh out of college, so I'm like 22, 21, whatever. And I had incentive because obviously one, ice cream, that's the biggest thing, but also two, we're not too far. Well, we're in Jackson Heights. We're more like East Elmhurst, whatever, too. But point is, Jackson Heights a big Colombian community, so there was a really like young smoking piece of ass. Let me take that back. So there was like a piece of ass that worked at the Carvel, and it was almost always her closing out the day at the end of the night. So no wonder a lot of guys would pull in like before closing to get a good look at her because not a good looking girl, not cute, not pretty, not nothing, not no classic beauty, not no redefining like the image of beauty, nothing. But she had a big fat ass, a nice big old juicy ass on her, and she was like, I don't want to say busted. No, she wasn't busted. She was like just average in the face, but that was enough of an attraction to lure you in to seal the deal as far as making business. So I'm sure they had no trouble at the end of the week or month, whenever when they're reviewing the finances of like they made bank. They did good for themselves because ice cream year round is a thing. I believe in it. I'm a big fan of it too. And of course, it only helps when you've got eye candy to go along with the ice cream in hand or in mouth later on when you consume it too. So a nice big old fat ass to go with 2 scoops of whatever your favorite flavor is. Probably the best part of your fucking day right there. I can't blame you if that was your incentive. It was mine when I remembered. Because I'd forget most of the time, like, oh yeah, there is that fucking girl next door too. But I'd always pick the days when she wasn't there, so I'd always end up getting like the guy who, a nice guy, but I'm not looking for a guy to serve me fucking 2 scoops of, I don't do vanilla. I'm not playing like that. I like doing Rocky Road, mint chocolate chip. Shouts to anybody out there who does mint chocolate chip. That's my favorite flavor of all time. God forbid I ever find anybody who indulges in it like me, though. That's the sad part. It's a very frowned upon, shamed often flavor of ice cream, this mint chocolate chip. I love it. I like the spiciness of the mint. If it's like a brand that actually worries about getting some good mint, because when you get a good hit of mint, It's actually like spicy. It's enticing. You feel it. It's like tiptoeing around your tongue before it fully commits to just wham, hitting you in the tongue and your taste buds with like that just minty freshness, you know? So that's why I like, I guess, minty, really flavored ass toothpaste. I don't eat toothpaste, God forbid, no. But I'm saying like I really like a minty, really hard tasting mint in my toothpaste or whatever, wherever I can get it, honestly. But in ice cream, I just feel it's perfect. I just feel it's perfect because not only do you get the convenience of having green ice cream, which is I think it's cool, but also you taste the reason why it's green, and it's thanks to the mint. And on top of that too, there's chocolate chip, and there's nothing wrong with that either because you get the best of both worlds for me at least, the mint and the chocolate. I'm a chocolate boy. What do you want me to do? I wish I was chocolate complexion, just so I can justify my love of chocolate, but I'm not. So I can only identify as a chocolate boy at heart. No melatonin on me. You can see I need some coloring to my skin, if anything. I would benefit so much from it, but I don't have that on my person. I don't have that in my genes. I can't be colored. I get tan, sure, but so does everyone. Yes, even the gingers, even the pale skinned people, even the well no, actually if you're what's that shit called? Albino? Do they get tanned? Or do they actually suffer from being exposed to the sun too long that they may go pink or like start really like they're at a health risk if they get too much sun? I don't know. I've only ever dealt with one albino person in my life, and they weren't the inconvenience. I'm not saying that. Like, a shout out to all the albino people out there. But it was more of he was albino. This is high school. I'll talk about. He was albino, and I made it sound so wrong to like, oh, he's an albino. He's a dirty albino. Sorry. I didn't mean it for it to come off that way. I mean to say, like, he was an albino person. He suffered from albinoism, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. But on top of that, too, he was Indian. So that's what really threw me off as far as like, it was really perplexing because it was like, wait a minute, you're Indian? Because then when you really looked at his features, it was like, oh yeah, you are Indian. Because he had the accent. I thought he was playing the whole time. I think so did a lot of people too. But he wasn't lying. He was legit an Indian, from India. So, wait, was he Indian or Pakistani? I don't remember. He was one of those. But he had the accent. What do you call it? Those little like silver bracelets they wear. I think is it Punjabi? I think Punjabi actually. I think they're the ones that wear like the silver bracelets, like to honor the heritage of like their ancient, or is it Sikh? Forgive me if I'm getting it wrong. Anybody out there lurking and or you watch this later and you're like screaming at me because I'm wrong. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think it's either Sikh or Punjabi, but like the old ancient warriors that used to wear that shit to defend their tribes and villages. He was one of those. He was like legit, like either whatever the culture is. The point is, had the accent. When you looked at him like closely, like oh yeah, he would have if he was like the typical appearance of a person from that area. He would look just like them, but he was so pale with freckles and like ultraviolet ultraviolet neon like blonde. His hair was so light and like really like almost non-existent blue eyes. They were so like bright and light and shit. It was at first it was freaky because I couldn't figure out what the fuck he was until he said, "Oh, I'm Indian," and he asked, "I'm Indian." So, "Oh, you are okay. That's fascinating. Then, so you're an albino Indian person. Wow, that's crazy." A good guy too, real nice guy. I wish I would have kept in touch with him too, but he was more focused on, and rightfully so, because I guess he was like born and raised there in India, but he came later on in life, like I think maybe junior high school, he said, to the United States. So he had an accent, but it really wasn't a heavy ass Indian accent. Like he was totally understandable, but just he happened to have an accent, basically one of those. Nice kid. I just wish I would have kept in touch with him though. But good guy. I'm sure he did well for himself. He was a really good kid, legit. So good for him. Whatever he believes in, bless him via that deity, whatever he believes in. What was I saying? Oh yeah, right. So I could benefit from color, just like I'm sure he would have benefited from some color too, at least. But also, amongst his own kind, being an albino, I'm sure he did well for himself because he had no problem making friends with like the Indian kids in our school. We didn't have a huge community of a group of Indian kids, but they were there. Now Queens is really diverse, so that's what I love the most about Queens, the diversity. Like literally, you get to see the whole world without having to leave the borough. It's basically, God damn it! I spilled my shit. Fuck! Oh God, I can't do nothing right this fucking stream. I'm falling asleep. I'm spilling all over. God damn it! Fuck me. Oh God, I got shit over here. God damn it! Obviously, I had to take a break. Just give me a second. I gotta clean this shit up. I gotta fix the camera again now too. Fuck your mother. God damn it. Okay. Be right back. Alright, this time I'm just gonna pause the clock. Let's see where I'm at anyways. Okay, pause it. Pause and I'll be right back. Swear to God. Okay, back. Sorry. I had to. First, I had to go get a beverage that had a lid on it, which helps a lot more. It makes you feel less stupid. Oh shit, I'm sorry. And then also, had to take a quick bathroom break and had to crack open the window because it was getting too stuffy in here. So, yay, we're back. I'm back, you're back. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here with me to enjoy the lunacy, which is the seventh and last attempt, I hope, of trying to get these 100 fares in under 2 hours in GTA Vice City via the taxi. Mind you, I actually just stumbled upon something here while I was taking a quick bathroom break. Um, so now apparently, we're in a day and age now. You can't avoid it in the news. It's there every day. It seems like we're in a day and age now. The era of I'll sue you even if I can't prove it, let alone have any proof to come and substantiate to begin with my lawsuit against you, whoever you are. But I'll sue your ass in court. I guess that always existed. There's no escaping that. You can sue. We're in the country, greatest country in the world, because we can just sue your ass for anything if we feel like it, and make a lawsuit out of anything. I mean, we should be familiar with that urban legend of like, I think that's how it went anyway. That one lady that got coffee from McDonald's, and it was so hot, allegedly in a lawsuit, that she dropped it on herself, or she spilled it on herself, and like got like third, second degree burns. And because she sued McDonald's about it for not warning her of how hot her coffee was, she won. I think she got under $100,000. It wasn't even a lot. I know Seinfeld made fun of it in one of the episodes of Kramer and shit, but I think it was like a legit thing. But she didn't get too much, and/or they settled out of court. But that's the reason why McDonald's had to start putting like the caution liquid may be hot. I think even now they tell you like the degree, I think Celsius or Fahrenheit, I forget which one, of how hot the coffee is, and reminded like keep the shit like the lid on, don't spill it on yourself and burn yourself potentially. And or I think they even like made it less hot somehow, because she was claiming she got like, I think up to second degree burns, which is like practically burning your skin off, not just like a quick like you touch the stove, like a legit almost like my skin peeled off and it ain't growing back. I got so burned level of like hot. But there's that I guess either urban legend like it legit happened, but that's what it is, right? But now we're in the times where you can sue again without having any real proof or anything to substantiate why the fuck you suing in the first place, you piece of shit. I'm gonna sue you for that shit. And you can have your lawsuit, I wouldn't say justified, but it will see its day in court just because you bring it up. And that's not even the scary part. That's always been around. That's always happened. I get that. But the scariest part of nowadays with these lawsuits is you can bring him up to just about anyone, but now the person that gets accused of anything nowadays, they lose their job, they lose their shit, they lose their livelihood because of it too. Or, simply put, they get their reputation damaged as a direct cause and effect. Before even going to court, before even getting a chance to defend themselves, and now literally we're living in the times you're guilty until proven innocent. That's just what it is too, and it's really sad because now of all things, I thought this was a joke or not going to be one of those lawsuits taken seriously potentially, but apparently, I was listening to it earlier on the Jim Cornette podcast, right? The Cornette Experience. Just the one segment about it, at least anyway. So apparently, there's this former wrestler, Raka Khan from TNA. I never watched TNA, so honestly, I wouldn't even know who that is, or if she was even that good or not. But Raka Khan is suing. I think she lost count, literally how many people and or companies she's suing all in one lawsuit I think amassing to like almost, I think I read it right, $3 billion in damages of, I think it's The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, of all people, The Rock, currently still the highest paid male actor in Hollywood. The Rock, suing him and so many other people again. She lost count how many people she's even suing. I bet you she can barely name five. It's so many. But accusing his ass of plotting with, I think Jim Cornette's also included in the lawsuit. That's why he even brought it up, just to laugh it off pretty much. And I think Disney and Coca-Cola and like all these other fucking alleged individuals and or parties or companies to kidnap her. I I kind of, I'll be honest, I skimmed through the article. So I think the thing that scares me the most is that she's alleging that Dwayne The Rock Johnson was the mastermind of elaborating a plot to kidnap her and her children and hold them against their will, not of kidnapping her and her children and holding them against her will. So the lawsuit is basically, from my understanding, if I'm wrong, I'll come back on and correct myself and slap myself on the head for being a dummy. But from my quick glance at this shit, I think she's literally suing somebody, alleging that they wanted to do something to her that they only had in mind to do to her, not something that was actually done, which is legit the scariest part of this all. Because are we now going to be able to sue people over something we feel they may have tried to do to us at some point, past or present, or even future? Something as stupid as, oh, hey, you know what? I don't like the way that guy's looking at me across the street from me right now because I'm black, he's white, and I'm going to sue him now because I think he wants to plot against me in a racially motivated way and or manner. So I need to prevent it before it happens, so I'm going to sue his ass now. And because he's being alleged of or named in the lawsuit like that, then it's substantiated. Or God forbid, action gets taken. It's kind of like that. It's been a long time since I watched, but kind of like that Minority Report shit, where they were like, I think the premise was they would like arrest you in advance for crimes they would condemn you of in the future anyway, so they would just arrest you early on, pretty much. It's something like that. So again, forgive me for not actually, I was in the bathroom, I was multitasking. I was holding my dick and my phone at the same time while trying to aim at the toilet, make sure I don't spill, because then I gotta clean it up. It's scary to think that maybe the whole premise of the lawsuit is her alleging that The Rock, Jim Cornette, and all these other numerous parties and or companies were plotting to scheme on her and her kids to kidnap her. But again, plotting to do so, not that they ever did. And as a direct result of this thing, which is like totaling $3 billion or some crazy amount like that, now, I think I read now, The Rock was supposedly going to be the next or new Jack Sparrow, or like the main character in like the Pirates of the Caribbean shit, because they're rebooting their franchise again, because of course, why not? And he was going to be the main guy. And because of this lawsuit now coming up, they're dropping him from that shit, and Disney's pretty much saying, we don't work with The Rock anymore. He's a nasty individual, even though, again, he's being accused. He hasn't been found guilty of, and there's no proof that he actually did what this lady is alleging him of. Mind you, quick glance of, looking up her name, Raka Khan of all things. Not a real name, of course, that's a wrestling name. Quick glance, and a quick bit of deet to her. She's 41 years old now, so she's old and, mad. She's probably not wrestling anymore, it sounds like. But she's also listed as 6'2". So if you're a wrestler, you're trained in wrestling, and you're a female, and you happen to be a female that's 6'2", that means you're taller than me. That means you're taller as a female than a, a good amount of males, period, in general. Because not everybody's a fucking giant 6 foot plus, as much as women insist on having only men 6 feet and over in the dating profile. If you're legit 6'2" and you're trained in wrestling, even if you're a woman, I don't think The Rock and I don't think anybody in general would have the easiest time trying to kidnap you, because that means you're practically an Amazon. Let's face facts. Now, is it appealing? Is it attractive? I like taller women. Sure, it probably is to me. I don't find her to be a good-looking woman, so she just happens to be a tall bitch. That's probably just delusional. So now, I can't easily kidnap a woman that's 6'2" because if she's got the 2 inch advantage over me, then not only am I gonna be like, oh damn, she's taller than me, I'm gonna have a hard time doing this shit. Um, yeah, she's a trained wrestler too. She might be able to take me down if I'm stupid enough to try to kidnap her ass. Again, just pretend scenario. But besides the schematics, besides like, trying to find some logic in this whole situation, again, she's alleging, it seems like, that they plotted to, or she's alleging that they did at some point kidnap her and her kids against their will, of course, because no one is consensually kidnapped. That's the whole point of being having it labeled kidnapped by The Rock. So now, because of this allegation, Disney has reneged on their offer to have The Rock be the new Jack Sparrow in the reboot of the. Well, I don't know if it's Jack Sparrow, but like an important leading character in the new fucking Pirates of the Caribbean, which I don't think anyone's asking for. And just imagine the audacity of rebooting this shit already. Just because, what is it, like 5, 6 of those movies? They did really well, and I think they were gonna do it anyway. Besides the fact of this whole thing that went down with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and shit, to the point where he won his case against her because whatever, she's a piece of shit and she's literally into shit like that. To the point now where she's moving to Spain and quitting Hollywood, quote unquote, which, the saddest part of it all, honestly, the only sad part of that whole ordeal with Amber Heard and shit, call me a male pig, call me whatever, I'm guilty of being a man. What a good looking fucking woman to be such a waste of space. That's the biggest crime in all of this. She's such a piece of shit with her fucking demeanor, her attitude, her approach to life, and thinking she's entitled to beat someone, let alone Johnny fucking Depp of all people, beat his ass up, shit in his bed and make him sleep in it too. Such a good looking woman to be acting this way. But does this mean she's such a piece of shit on the inside? Like she was raised to like feel, oh, honey, you're so beautiful, you better act as entitled as you want to because you're going to develop into a beautiful woman and men are going to be at your feet and at your will and disposal at all times to do what you ask them to because of how you look. Which, there is now that whole thing with like simping and like, being subjected to a woman's beauty and doing them all sorts of favors because they're just so beautiful. You want them to even glance at you and shit. There is a whole subculture of that. I get it. But there's no justifying being an abusive individual regardless of how beautiful you are. If anything, it's just a scapegoat. It's just like your excuse to feel like you're entitled to do so. Which, point in case, she's a shitty person. As per the courts, she's got to pay his ass for being a shitty person. And there's no excusing that, even though she is literally a piece of ass. Like, that's a good looking fucking woman. And it's a shame, too, that she's such a, has been proven apparently a disgusting individual for her behavior alone. Which, listen, I'm sure plenty of us would forgive a woman if she's toxic and or like neurotic and or I don't know. It always makes you wish like she was just stupid, because at least you'd be like, she's so good looking, it doesn't matter how dumb she is. Like, you can live past that. But she's good looking. She's so good looking. She's aware of it too, and she's using it to an advantage to be a piece of shit. So, yeah, it's all bad in that case. But point is, they were gonna reboot the shit, Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think they were pretty much set on having Johnny Depp back or involved some way somehow. And because of the whole scandal with what she was accusing him of initially, that's how the whole shit started. They Disney canceled pretty much Johnny Depp and took that shit away from him, and only because he was able to prove in court of all places, as thank God he was able to, his innocence, and we were able to uncover she's actually a piece of shit, not him. Now they want him back apparently, and I think he's involved again in the project. Whatever they're doing with like the Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't think they should be doing that again. Like, at least let 20 years pass before you try it again, because at this point, is it only what, a couple of years removed from when Johnny Depp was involved? So why not just have him do it again to begin with? But because the whole scandal, like whatever he was involved in, they like kind of try to be like, oh, we can't use him right now. He's toxic. He's bad. Shame on Johnny Depp of all people, right? It's crazy now because he's involved again now in the project. So why get rid of him in the first place? Why not just keep him there? But then also, why are you rebooting the shit? And of all things, to have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson involved, who is not a good actor. I'm a fan of wrestling from way back when, so that's how I know The Rock, from his wrestling days. And I'm not saying that like I'm a proud fan. Oh, I know my wrestling. I know my wrestling history. Knowing the history of a pretend sports entertainment, ain't something you should be proud of. So shut the fuck up if you are, honestly. And that's coming from a lifelong fan who I've now stopped watching wrestling altogether for like the last couple of years, and I don't miss it. And believe me, I got these friends of mine that are still watching now. They're like, oh, did you catch, like, asshole, I told you I don't watch that shit no more. Why would I fucking catch up on that shit? Why would I watch it? The only disadvantage of all this shit is that my algorithm on Twitter and Instagram, for some reason, still think I do watch it. So I can't escape the highlight clips or like the little things that go viral from wrestling, which is very few and far between. Honestly, at this point, I only keep up or keep tabs on like the women that wrestle. Because God forbid I like a fucking woman because I'm perfectly straight in the male and I own up to it. So that's the only thing in wrestling I keep up with. So do I know what Bailey wore yesterday at a Backlash in Puerto Rico? Of course I do, because it's on my fucking timeline. And that's the algorithm or AI or whatever working to my advantage. Because I want that. I like that. I enjoy that. I like seeing good looking women that fucking wrestle, that wear tight enough clothing to make my fucking heart sing. And make my fucking dick happy. For me to enough to want to burp the worm, as they say. Haha. But yeah, that's really all the tabs I keep on wrestling. Who's wrestling that's a woman, that's good looking, what does she fucking wear? Okay, I don't need to know anything beyond that. I'm not trying to look for classic matches. I'm not trying to look for fucking, oh my god, she did this move so excellently and whatever. I don't give a shit. What did she wear? Did she look good in it? Oh, she won too on top of that? Great. She already won my dick over. Big deal. These fucking W's mean nothing in the fucking wrestling because it's all fake. I know this. As a fan, it's all fake. I know, predetermined, whatever you want to have enough courtesy to call it, but still, it's all pretend. It's all dramatized. It's a soap opera involving men and women in underwear rolling around with each other in fight scenarios that make no sense in real life for like 20, 30 minutes, whatever. Oh, God, that guy's flipping out. What happened? Holy shit. That's all it is. And listen, I'm friends with a wrestler. God bless him, Super Nitro. Shouts to him, the real Super Nitro. He's an independent wrestler. He's been doing it for a while now, but come on. And does he get hurt? Is it physical? Absolutely. That I respect about it. They're able to, like, throw their bodies around for, like, a couple of fucking hours a week and shit, week in, week out. I respect that part, but for the fans to have the nerve to be like, I know so much about the history of wrestling. I'm a nerd. I'm proud of it. You're a historian on pretend history. It's milestones, accomplishments that don't fucking matter, that don't count, that don't get looked at legitimate sport. It's pretend fucking soap opera. It's like you remembering fondly an episode of your favorite daily soap opera from like 37 years ago. And you remember that shit, you remember what season it was, what episode, who was the guest star and shit, and like, oh yeah, that was one of my most favorite episodes. So good for you, but are you supposed to be proud of that shit? It's like super random, super specific fucking trivia. It don't matter to nobody. Let alone these wrestlers that live those moments. Believe me, most of them in one ear out the other. They don't even remember it themselves. And you're fucking over there obsessing and shit and acting like, oh God, it's so important. I remember this match from whatever. Enough. But like I was saying, so now the crazy part is because he is being alleged of having kidnapped a whole 6'2" woman and her children, and obviously with kidnapping, keeping them against their will because he wants to, and it doesn't matter what you think, because The Rock says, I just kidnapped your ass. And the whole lawsuit amassing like $3 billion now. This is some crazy shit. And because of him being alleged of doing so, now he lost his chance of being in the Pirates of the Caribbean. And like the little bit I read said, he's officially out according to Disney, but they may still work with him depending on how this shit turns out. That's the crazy part. Like, come on, I get it. Someone's being alleged of something that we don't know whether if they did or did not do it. We don't fucking know if The Rock allegedly did or did not kidnap, again, a whole 6'2" woman trained to be a wrestler, meaning she could handle herself even with someone as big as The Rock, and her kids, who kidnapped them against their will to make them do whatever he felt like doing. Oh, The Rock says, put your hand on your head and shut the fuck up for like 24 hours while I get some ransom for you. I don't fucking know. And the craziest thing is The Rock's involved in it, allegedly. Jim Cornette, all these other individuals, companies too. Like, again, she named so many people's and companies and individuals that she lost count, it seems like. So now because he's alleged to having been involved some way, somehow in it, or the mastermind behind it all, now he loses his chance of being a part of that Pirates of the Caribbean reboot. Which, first off, wasn't that shit gonna be rebooted with what was it, Margot Robbie, I think? And now she ain't a part of it no more, or like they like canceled that shit out because it wasn't gonna work or something like that. Where's that reboot? I mean, at least have a female lead, a good looking ass woman like her, being a fucking pirate. Hey, listen, rob me, loot me, all you want, as long as you like frisk my pants real quick and just like at least, pat my balls down and graze my dick a little bit. Arg, matey, ahoy, deploy an anchor, whatever. At least that shit, but no, it's fucking that's been canceled, and also now The Rock's involvement and or I don't know what role he was going to play in the Pirates of the Caribbean has been officially axed as well too. So he's no longer going to be a part of the Pirates of the Caribbean according to Disney. They might still work with him depending on the outcome of his lawsuits, whether he's proven innocent or not. But I say, and I hate to say it too, but it is true, I think we dodged a bullet with having The Rock pretend to be a pirate, because the last thing I want to do or sit through is The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, acting. It's really not good. I'm sorry. I'm not one to judge. I'm not in Hollywood. I'm not an actor either. Sure, you'll say, oh, but at least The Rock has experience over you, asshole. He's been on screen acting at least, asshole. What have you done, asshole? Yeah, I'll give him that shit. But also, how long has he been acting for in Hollywood? And am I being an asshole, or is he being an asshole because he's gotten no better? Is he charming? Sure. But then again, I think we got to say that out of pure fear of how big of a man he is. Are you really going to pose him and say, oh, you big brown motherfucker, you're not charming at all, fuck you, and risk getting his foot up your ass? Like he'd always tell guys week in, week out in the wrestling, I'm going to stick my foot sideways up your ass. You're walking king, your eyeglasses and shit up your ass. Are you going to fucking tell him that? No, I'm not either. So fuck you if you're criticizing me of all things. I'm just saying, hey, he's not a good actor. And I think most of us in general know that shit. He's not a good actor. He's literally too big to be convincing in any role he plays. So God forbid I point that part out, that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, literally anytime he does a movie, any fucking role, it's The Rock as a fucking captain of a ship. It's The Rock as a humongous oversized ballerina in a tutu. The Rock as a fucking nanny. Or anything like that. Come on. Let's be real then. You're gonna be fucking honest and real? Be real with me first. Admit The Rock ain't a good actor. The only time The Rock has been near a fucking Oscar at all, or any sort of award that you earned from acting, is because he was invited to the event. Because again, highest paid male actor right now in Hollywood is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Why would you not at least try to tease him with something he'll never get, which is an award for good acting? Never. Not The Rock. No, 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 no. Never ever fucking. You're delusional. You're fucking crazy. I'll take that bet from now until as long as I live. The Rock will never win an award for good acting because the man is not a good actor. He pretended to be something entertaining in wrestling, which was his best role ever. And he fucking knocked it out the park. He nailed that shit all the time. To the point now where it's a nostalgia act, sure, but wrestling fans, even I'll fucking wait on him to come back eventually to wrestling if he ever does. But goddamn, I know I'll be excited if he fucking does, at least for a one-off. But that's the best thing he's ever done acting-wise, is be a wrestler. And he's really good at that. Honestly, I would have stayed at that longer if I was him. But then again, I'm not him, obviously, because he's the highest paid male actor in Hollywood right now, and I'm fucking not. So obviously, he knew what he was doing. He believed in himself, he banked on himself, he took a bet on himself. He is insulting the whole actor, actress, whatever you identify as, actor community, and said, I'm going to be an actor too. Why not? He was hot. Pause. He was hot as far as like a hot commodity, I mean, like at the time. One of the biggest, most popular names in wrestling at that time. A big essential part of the attitude era, excuse me. A very essential part. Him and Stone Cold and him. They were one left, right, left hand, right hand. One hand washes the other. They needed one another to fucking really make sure this attitude era shit popped off like that. And yes, I know there's others. Undertaker, the Corporate Ministry, Mankind, Mr. McMahon, and Triple H, and Stephanie, and all them too. Yes. But the main focus, the main fucking stars, the A-list, B-list of fucking everything, the lead and the co-lead, Stone Cold and The Rock. They're the ones that made the shit poppin'. Come on. Let's be real. And also Stone Cold. What happened to him with his acting opportunities? He got the rough end of the stick because he got dealt with nothing but fucking B movies and straight to DVD, cable, only good enough to be on fucking Tubi, the free movie streaming app. Those kind of movies. He's been subjected to that shit. I mean, he did well for himself. He was in what, The Longest Yard remake. He was in, I think, The Expendables. I never watched any one of them, so I don't know. I think he was. And some other shit, you know, I ain't gonna lie. Oh yeah, he was in a couple of Adam Sandler movies. Oh right, besides The Longest Yard. He was in Grown Ups. He got some good screen time in that shit. But he's never had like a breakout big ass Hollywood role, which I'm surprised with Stone Cold that he never got that shit. But The Rock did in comparison. Now, of the two, who's the better actor? Well, that's a really good question, actually. I don't know how to compare the two, to be honest. The Rock's a pretty bad actor. I mean, he has his charm, which kind of helps him. And he looks diverse enough where, you know, I love Stone Cold, love Steve Austin, who doesn't, but let's be honest, he looks like a skinhead. And that's probably the best role he'll ever play if like they ever remake like American History X, if they cast Stone Cold Steve Austin as a neo-Nazi skinhead. Unfortunately, I think that's one of the best roles he'll ever play in his life. It'll be too convincing already, as is by default. But damn, who's the better actor, The Rock or Stone Cold? That's a good ass question to ask. Interesting, perplexing. I don't know how to answer that really. I don't know how to answer that besides being honest in that I think in that head to head, that versus, I think I might have to go with The Rock actually. Because I don't know if Stone Cold knows how to talk or even put on a voice outside of, well, let me tell you, son, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. I drink, I cuss, I put up my middle finger. Fuck you, kind of thing. I don't know if he knows how to talk outside of that or pretend like to play around with his voice. Because at least The Rock, when he was like the peak era Rock, Attitude era Rock, the corporate champion, people's champ Rock, at least he would play around with his voice a little bit, imitations, and he was funny at that time. He was hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna give that to The Rock. Then there's no comparison who's a better actor, The Rock or Stone Cold. I mean, obviously, proof in the pudding is that Stone Cold has never been in a great movie. Well, The Rock has never been in a great movie either, unless you want to count like the Fast and Furious shit. Those aren't great movies, I'd say either. Personally, not for me. I'd say they're cool. They serve their purpose. They know the audience. Who I don't know how they subject themselves to it, but every time, 9 times to date, 10 times coming up now with the new Fast and Furious coming up soon. And number 11 too is coming out of it, and they got a goddamn spin-off series already, the Hobbs and Shaw shit, which wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either, because again, The Rock as the lead actor. Yes, it's Jason Statham, but come on, who's gonna trust Jason Statham to be the lead guy in anything? He's cool as shit, sure, he's like a good representative of the ball community, but also beyond that, I can't understand a word he's fucking saying in any movie he's done ever. And that ain't me trying to show like, oh, you fucking dirty sounding ass Brit, I can't understand you. No, I swear to God, I can never understand Jason Statham ever. So, am I at fault for that, or am I the asshole, or is it like, am I not the only one, hopefully, that can't understand a word ever Jason Statham's ever said on film? At 24 frames per second, oh, oi. All I ever hear with Jason Statham's like, oi, what's up here? Is he even British or is he Australian? I can't tell. So I don't know if I'm like misprofiling his ass. I don't fucking know. He's cool as shit. I know that much. He's a good representative of the bald community. Thank God for him, because at least that's cool. But other than that, I can't understand a word he's saying ever. Oh, especially Hobbs and Shaw. When I went to go see that in theater, went out the subtitles, at home to watch, at that convenience. I couldn't understand a word he was saying at all. Not one. So I don't know how in real life they're understanding his ass either. Or is that the appeal? Like, he's so, like, British sounding whatever that, like, the whole point is to make him sound or look cool because you can't understand him. Or is that the appeal that you can, like, imagine his dialogue in your head because, God forbid, you could understand him? I don't know. But it's crazy. The man is just being, that I don't like. The man is being alleged of having done something that we don't know if he did or not. It's all alleged. But the point is now Disney has pulled out from having The Rock as a part of the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot. So he's officially out. But funny enough though, at least what they announced now is that he's out of it for this shit, but that apparently he's still on the table for future projects. But then that's stupid. So like, if you're gonna fully commit to not having The Rock part of anything no more because of what he's being alleged of doing, then fully pull out. Don't just pull the tip out and be like, you know what, I'm gonna stay balls deep. I'm just pulling the tip out a little bit, so I don't come immediately, because I don't know if I want to come inside you. I don't trust you when you say you took the bland B pill or nothing. But I do want to still kind of be safe while still enjoying this opportunity afforded to me, kind of thing. That's what I don't get. Disney's being a pussy then. Like, fully commit. If you're going to take that stance of, oh, he got alleged of something so crazy, how could we still work with him, kind of thing, fully pull out. Fully say, hey, we're not working with The Rock in no way, shape, form whatsoever at all. Like, and then have everybody else join in too. Be like, we stand with whoever's accusing The Rock of allegedly doing whatever he did, and we're not going to employ him either because he's a nasty, dirty, oversized, kidnapping ass motherfucker. Commit. Take a stance. You can't half-ass it. And this isn't me condoning like the fact that, oh, he got alleged of something. That's it. Give him the fucking boot. He's out of here. He should be out of Hollywood completely. No, I don't know shit. This is all alleged. There's no proof of it. We may never see proof of it either until it goes to court and like whoever takes like, I don't know, footage of shit. We actually see something that might substantiate The Rock at some point. Oh my God, The Rock allegedly. Just pretending, of course, too. Oh my God, The Rock did kidnap somebody back in however fucking long ago it was. A 6'2", gigantic ass, trained in wrestling to defend herself ass woman. He actually kidnapped her ass and the kids and held them all against their will because The Rock says, oh my God, that's crazy. Nah, that's pussy shit. Fully commit to the shit, Disney. Pull him out of all fucking projects he may be involved in fully, Disney, not just Pirates of the Caribbean, and then take a stance against, the alleged disgusting behavior he's been a part of or involved in or alleged of doing. It's pussy shit. And that's besides the fact Disney trying to fucking cater to like the gender identities and fucking inclusiveness of all the races and shit too. Shut the fuck up. Commit. Actually be about it. You want to be inclusive and include everybody too. Everybody's fair, equal opportunity. Be real about it. You got billions. You got fucking all these IPs and entities you can fucking still pump money out of. So why are you scared of fucking like completely cutting The Rock out of the picture then? I don't know. It just seems so crazy. Also, I'm sorry. He's gonna come off sounding crazy, I guess, but I just don't buy the fact that she's billed at 6'2", and she's a trained wrestler, meaning she could defend herself easily. Even if we're talking about The Rock, 6'5", 6'4", whatever he is, and like well over 200 pounds of pure fucking muscle, and a trained wrestler too. Come on, I don't think she's being kidnapped that easily unless it's The Rock and it's like Stone Cold, it's The Undertaker, everybody kidnapping her ass and shit too. I'm not here to make light of like anybody being kidnapped for real or anybody who has been kidnapped, let alone with their kids. Allegedly though, that's the big fucking part here though. Allegedly, he did it, and all these other people involved did it too, or they were scheming to do so. And that's the part I'm like so confused about and really so concerned about because The Rock was named, Jim Cornette was named, all these other people and companies were fucking named, but it sounds like as a part of a plot to kidnap her, meaning they didn't do it. They didn't go through with it or actually like commit to it. She's alleging, oh fuck, I took the wrong term. She's alleging that they were all scheming and plotting to kidnap her and the kids and hold her against her will, obviously, because that's the point of kidnapping anybody, but they didn't do it. But she's alleging them of having plotting to do so, which is the insane part to me. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Okay, so 55 plus 23 is what? 78? Fuck, I'm still going to be short of... I'll be lucky if I get 80 in the next 3 minutes, so... I can't believe this shit. I really can't. This is sad. So, yeah, I gotta call it here. That's it for today, unfortunately, because I don't have time to continue, unfortunately, so we're gonna pause it right here. It's just short of fucking 2 hours anyway. God damn, I got so distracted. A couple of things happened. I got distracted. I was falling asleep too like an idiot and still trying to pull this off, so... Yeah, this sucks. Just like this must all suck for The Rock. So this is the last attempt of 100 fares in under 2 hours. I'm sure it could be done if I wasn't falling asleep, if I didn't need to wake me up, if I didn't fucking knock the camera over at some point too and spill my drink on the floor too. All these stupid ass factors I could have like ruled out. But I couldn't do it. 7 tries, I tried genuinely to do it. With all my heart, and as passionate as I am and as Spanish as I am, I really tried, but I couldn't pull it off. So there you go with that. But it doesn't matter. We're going to give it one last try anyway. This is the last official try at 100 fares under 2 hours, I mean. But we're going to do it again. We're going to try to see how long it takes, after all, to finish 100 fares in the taxi in Vice City. But that'll be next time. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you were lurking, if you were just, whatever, watching, appreciating whatever too, I appreciate it. Twitch.tv/who this is one and or youtube.com/who this is one. I'm me. I identify as the bald, angry, dumb gamer because I am that bad of a gamer. I just happen to be also bald, angry, and dumb, so that might contribute to overall me being the bad gamer. Here on Twitch, here on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on all the socials at who this is one too, so you don't miss my updates and or when I go live with this shit, as we will try to accomplish this one more time, except now, no time limits. No trying to do it under 2 hours. The next one will be just, how long does it fucking take to complete this? Because obviously I suck too much to do it under 2 hours. So then, how much time do I need afforded myself to actually pull this off? God damn. But whatever. Catch you next time. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, till further notice. Again, follow me on the socials so you'll get a better idea of what the fuck I'm doing and when. Appreciate you. Thank you. Till next time. And yeah, Godspeed. God save the rock. Queen is dead already.